The ANC is holding that Lekgotla this weekend to plan for that Cabinet Lekgotla, which will feed into the State of the Nation address. So the meeting happens amid major disagreements between the GNU partners in the wake of the President assenting the Expropriation Bill. So to chat more about this, SABC News senior political reporter Samkele Maseko joins us live now. Samkele, a very good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. So I guess as this meeting takes place, with the President just this past Thursday having signed the Expropriation Bill into law, that is likely to take centre stage because what looks to be is some kind of possible legal action that may be lingering.
Indeed, Criselda, the president of the ANC did sign the expropriation bill. The Democratic Alliance is having a press briefing this afternoon. This comes at the backdrop of the president of the ANC as president of the country signing the NHI into law, signing the Bella bill into an act of law as well. And now the expropriation bill, which the GNU part of the Democratic Alliance says it's a non-negotiable. But there are other myriad of issues such as the state of municipalities within the country, the economy that is not performing well, that the Minister of Finance, and also ANC NEC member will speak extensively about should he be called upon by the NEC. The water provision issue within the country, top of the agenda, as well as societal issues that are currently plaguing South Africans. We are going to bring in Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri just to outline the current program of the National Executive NEC Lekgotla.
Thank you very much, Samkele. Thank you very much, Moloko. Today is the start of our annual Lekgotla, which, as is tradition, aimed at informing the program of government, ensuring that the election manifesto that was adopted and put out by the ANC 2024 gets a reflection there. All of the priorities set out in the manifesto are taken forward, making sure that the January 8th statement read out by the President to the nation on behalf of the National Executive Committee and the key tasks that are entailed in that January 8th statement are taken into consideration when we plan the program of government. So this type of Lekgotla is largely focused on governance in our country and also ensuring that service delivery is at the center of what we're going to be talking about in the next 3 days. So we're looking forward. We have the full set of National Executive Committee members. We have provinces, we've got premiers, we've got all manner of categories of decision makers that have to make decisions that are positive and that can impact the people of South Africa, making sure that we use public resources as prudently, as efficiently as possible to achieve that which is desired, which is real human development. We will receive the medium-term development plan, and we will interrogate the medium-term development plan, ensuring that the manifesto as well as the January 8th tasks are carried into the work that goes forward. We know that government is going to be holding a Lekgotla. We want our deployees to be fully armed to engage at that level.
When you look at the Cabinet Lekgotla next week on the 29th to the 30th, you've got an issue of the Expropriation Bill currently, or Expropriation Act now signed by the President. As the ANC, how are you going to deal with this, with the Democratic Alliance having a press briefing later this afternoon saying this is a serious issue and that could effectively affect their participation in the government of national unity?
Well, you know, this piece of legislation follows a very sustained discussion, very sustained public participation process driven by Parliament, where civil society, a cross-section of sectors contributed to what we now have as the Expropriation Bill. So it is not something where you can doubt how consultative the process was or how consulted the process was. That's the first point. And to the DA, they were part of that process every step of the way. And so we do expect that it will be implemented. We expect the President to do the right thing and to take into account the views of all South Africans and not just one political party. Going to court, obviously, nobody can stop anyone from exercising what they believe are their rights in law. But we are absolutely convicted that this was a groundbreaking ascension by the president of this particular piece of legislation. It must also indicate that there has been instances where the ANC gets threatened by the DA within the context of the government of national unity. And we don't take those threats lightly, but at the same time we are very focused on ensuring that we deliver on the expectations of our people, one of which is land redistribution.
All right, sorry, Moloko here. When you say deliberations that will emerge out of here will inform government's program of action, you're not governing alone. How then do you balance the views, ideological orientation that completely differs from yours, seeing that you have a variety of other political parties that are in government now?
Thank you very much. I mean, we enjoy 40% of the national vote share. We are the largest party in government. That is why we have a president who is from the African National Congress. The electoral losses that we suffered still does not take away the fact that we are the largest party in South Africa. Secondly, of course, the spirit within the government of national unity is that of driving consensus as much as possible, is that of looking after the interests of the people of South Africa. Just like any other process, everything gets negotiated. But just as I was speaking about the Expropriation Bill, you can turn around in 2025 and basically sully a process that's taken almost 5 years. And then want us to go back. We can't go back. South Africans can't go back as far as that is concerned. So consensus is the name of the game within the government of national unity. But as the ANC, we are very sure that the set of policies that we have, if implemented, will benefit the majority of South Africans.
Do you expect this to go to the clearinghouse?
At this point, I'm not in a position to say it will go to the clearinghouse because that will be the call that government must make, and the ANC will make its views known at the right time. At this point, we are quite happy with what has happened. We expect accelerated movement in as far as addressing the issues of land and ownership patterns in South Africa.
Once a decision is taken on Monday on the province of KwaZulu-Natal, are you expecting any rumblings to happen on the ground? We are told there is mobilization taking on the ground to rebel against the decision of the NWC.
Well, we are not aware of the mobilization that is said to be taking place on the ground. I've heard rumors of that, but we cannot apportion that to our leadership in KZN and to our comrades and members in KZN. What we do know that the ANC does practice a principle called democratic centralism, which enjoins the two provinces to accept decisions that are going to be made and decisions that will be communicated to those provinces, and make sure that we all work together to rebuild the organization. Should there be any member of the ANC that is unhappy with the decision or wants to get further explanation about this decision, we can just indicate to our structures that the leadership of the ANC will be going to these regions, to the regions in the two provinces, to the PECs, all the way to the branches, to ensure that we don't just communicate via formal correspondence, but we have an interaction with our branches.
Thank you very much, Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri. We are going to hold you up and we are going to ask you for a special request for President Mbeki on the ceasefire that has now been put in place between Palestine and Israel. We are looking forward to you trying to soothe the former president to agree to that particular doorstop.
We shall attempt for the public broadcaster. It has to be done. So we will facilitate.
Thank you very much. That is Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri. We are trying to grade the former President Thabo Mbeki on the issues pertaining to the ceasefire between Palestine and Israel that has now been put in place, that has been welcomed by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and the governing party within the country as well. That is the African National Congress and the South African government that went and did go to the International Criminal Court to try and get that particular ceasefire in place and to bring to account the government announcement of Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. And locally and domestically, the ANC will be looking at various issues, Criselda, when it comes to issues of governance. ANC NEC members and deployees in government, they are going in. Earlier on, I did see the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo, going into this particular meeting, and the Mayor of eThekwini, Cyril Xaba, as well. I'm also noticing that the staff of former President Thabo Mbeki has also arrived here at this particular venue where the NEC Lekgotla is taking place. I've not yet seen his arrival. We've not yet seen the arrival of the President. We do know the national chairperson of the ANC will be addressing the January 8 rally in Mpumalanga, in JS Moroka area of Mpumalanga, with the provincial leadership of Mpumalanga. The Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, is in the Fezile Dabi region in Paris, addressing the Free State provinces January 8 rally today, and they will then thus join this NEC Lekgotla later on in the evening.